Good morning, brothers and sisters. Today we reflect on Psalm 88, where the writer expresses his extreme and solitary suffering, which he has experienced since his youth. His complaints, laments, and pleas suggest that he was in a deep depressive state, a situation that any of us can find ourselves in at times. Despite the overwhelming sorrow, the psalmist turns to the one source of hope and comfort he knows, prayer and crying out to God, seeking intimacy with the Lord. This morning, if you find yourself feeling like the psalmist, overwhelmed by doubts, surrounded by darkness, and losing hope, know that you are not alone. The Lord has not abandoned you. The path to finding answers and solace lies in seeking Him with all your heart. Psalm 88 is a raw and honest depiction of human suffering. The psalmist does not hold back his feelings, expressing the depth of his despair. He feels abandoned, isolated, and consumed by sorrow. Yet amid his pain, he continually turns to God in prayer. This teaches us an important lesson. In our darkest moments, we should not withdraw from God, but rather draw closer to Him. The psalmist's words resonate with those who have faced severe trials and hardships. He says, "I am overwhelmed with troubles, and my life draws near to death." This level of honesty in prayer shows that we can bring our deepest fears and pains to God. We do not need to hide our struggles or put on a brave face. God invites us to come as we are, with all our burdens, and lay them at His feet. In verse 13, the psalmist declares, "But I cry to you for help, Lord. In the morning my prayer comes before you." Despite feeling abandoned and unheard, he continues to pray. This persistent faith, even when it seems like God is silent, is a powerful example for us. It reminds us that God's silence does not mean His absence. He is always with us, even when we cannot feel His presence. She is always with us, even when we cannot feel His presence. She's always with us, even when we cannot feel His presence. She's always with us, even when we cannot feel His presence. She's always with us, even when we cannot feel His presence. She's always with us, even when we cannot feel His presence. She's always with us, even when we cannot feel His presence. She's always with us, even when we cannot feel His presence. She's always with us, even when we cannot feel His presence. She's always with us, even when we cannot feel His presence. She's always with us, even when we cannot feel His presence. She's always with us, even when we cannot feel His presence. She's always with us, even when we cannot feel His presence. She's always with us, even when we cannot feel His presence.
The psalmist's situation may seem bleak, but his unwavering commitment to seeking God provides a glimmer of hope. It teaches us that our circumstances do not define God's character. He is always good, always loving, and always present. Our feelings may change, but God's nature remains constant. If you are experiencing a season of darkness, remember the psalmist's example. Turn to God in prayer, even when it is hard. Seek His presence, even when you feel distant. Trust that He is with you, working behind the scenes, even when you cannot see it. Psalm 88 ends without a resolution, reflecting the reality that sometimes our prayers are not answered in the way we expect. But it also leaves space for faith, showing that our hope is not in immediate answers, but in the God who hears and understands our deepest cries. Let us be encouraged to seek God with all our hearts, especially in times of distress. As we do, we will find the strength to endure, the peace that surpasses understanding, and the hope that anchors our souls. If this message has touched your heart, please leave a comment, follow our channel, and share this message so that others can also be blessed. God bless you abundantly. Amen. If this message has touched your heart, please leave a comment, follow our channel, and share this message so that others can also be blessed. God bless you abundantly. Amen.
In the shadows, I am lost, overwhelmed by all the cost. From my youth, I've known this pain. In the darkness, here I remain. I cry to you, oh Lord, in my anguish, hear my word. Though the night feels long and cold, in your arms I find my hope. Troubles surround my spirit weak. In my sorrow, your face I see. Loneliness and fear abound, yet in your love I am found. I cry to you, oh Lord, in my anguish, hear my word. Though the night feels long and cold, in your arms I find my hope. God of mercy, hear my plea. In the darkness, stay with me. Though the silence has feels so near, in your presence I persevere. I cry to you, oh Lord, in my anguish, hear my word. Though the night feels long and cold, in your arms I find my hope. Though my prayers seem to go unheard, in your promise I am stirred. For in faith I find my way. In your grace I'll trust and stay.